Isn't it funny how one thing can influence another? One day you're watching Carnival of Souls, and then the next you decide it is time to see what the alumni of the X Files have been doing. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Let's get them in the first Final Destination from 2000. His entire high school class is going to Paris, but Alex Browning, Devon Sawa Slackers the guilty, can't seem to shake his fear of flying. Once aboard the plane, he has a violently disruptive premonition, which gets him and five of his classmates, including Clear Rivers, Ellie Larder, Final Destination 2, Legally Blonde, and Carter Horton, Kerr Smith, the Forsaken, TV's Dawson Crease, kicked off the plane. As the students watch the plane depart, they witness the horrifying disaster that proves the deadly premonition true. Now, having dodged death once, the terror begins in full as fate hunts them down one by one. Soon, the five survivors will discover that you can't cheat death in this bone-chillingly suspenseful film that all critics call a first-class edge on of your seat thriller, says Paul Wonder of WBAI. 2098 minutes. And first thing you see, I gotta comment on the hour. You see all those kind of like very serious and drama filled, like for Dawson's Creek, Gilmore Girls are like very taciturn, I guess is the word, where the rictus is very serious. This was the trend going on in the late 1990s. I mean, it's like you had all the movies. You had American Pie, which I've never seen at all. You've got Scream, Scary Movie. The Outsiders, I think, was kind of a precursor there, but they all look very rigid and serious right here. And you know what? It kind of was like when you get inside, you get a thrill a minute ride. You have ways of how death is discussed. Quoting the Bible of ecstasies, something is like, we do not know when we're going to die, just as when fish get into that fateful net and it was something else or some other animal or something like that. It's like, you never know exactly when you're going to die and how mankind views death, how some of us have thanatophobia, Voldemort with his horcruxes, and how some of us embrace it and others of us just tend to avoid it, not give it too much thought, and just live life on their own terms. I guess that's like another way of how one can view death. By the way, the Greek god of death is Thanatos. So, not Thanos, Thanatos. So there's your trivia. And this movie, what I felt was like it's all the muted colors, all the browns, the greens. Everything looks faded, but guess what it is? This film is meant to lead up to the final destination of people. There is, in the sense of, hey, let's go with one of the more like interesting deaths. I think we got the railroad, and we have a train coming, and of course, a car stalls. What a surprise! It's like, okay, so what's the convention that's going to happen? It's like three people get out, and this one guy who wants death, he's thanatophilic in this case, decides, hey, you know what? I want to actually die. So he stays in his car, and after performing some illegal maneuvers, going through a stop sign, a red light, going down a hill, nearly causing an accident, etc., he says, yeah, I'm going to die here, but the others manage to extract him from the car a couple of moments before he dies. Everything looks hunky-dory and safe. Suddenly, the seatbelt that was chipped actually goes and manages to bill one of the passengers. Who just like, yeah, that was a little. It was like, I didn't know. It's like it was playing with the conventions, and boom, that happens, and I'm like, okay then. There's of course the teacher who is afraid of our hero, of our person Alex, and she's like, yeah, it's like, oh, I can't believe him. I'm gonna call the cops on him because he portends death. And I'm like, Okay, so you're going to go that you're going to drink some vodka, which accidentally slips into her computer because the glass cracks and it goes haywire, and she kind of gets guillotined. And I'm like, that's when I felt like it was truly stretching it. It's like some of this, it's like what I've noticed is that this movie takes itself too seriously and not too seriously at all. It's like this movie is fine if you go in knowing exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get, I guess, kind of a more of a we're all going to meet our fate type of motif. And yes, they're like it's still kind of a slasher because people do get slashed in one way or another. So it's like if you go in expecting that and just keeping the 2000s aesthetic, you're going to have a good time. This is one, I guess, like I always say, this is a movie where you turn your brain off and you think about like what's going on with death, but it's at the superficial level. There's nothing too in depth, nothing too like David Lynch style discussions or other motifs that he has. This is a movie where an airplane explodes in the sky. There's a car chase. There's the cops who kind of believe our hero and they kind of don't. So it's like it's one of those type of movies. It's one of those things that yeah, it has its fans, and you know what? I can say I'm a fan. Um, at the same time, when how the people react and things like that. How they call him the portender of death is just a nickname I just made up, and I'm like, well, yeah, they did act a little over the top. The acting is outside of Devon Sawa. He's all right. He's not like the greatest actor. It's not like for this movie, he's not like the greatest actor in the world. But he's like, goes a little over, like within over the topness. You can believe him. I guess it's not that bad. Everyone else is just there. They're just there just to be conduits for the death scene. Man, it's like you could just put up with it because like this movie's 98 minutes, and you just think, okay, it does go by pretty quickly. One thing I noticed is that there were a lot of last names. You've got Browning, Todd Browning from Universal movies, Dracula. You got Hitchcock, of course. When I reviewed 15 freaking movies of Hitchcock, yeah. And we got Murnau, after Murnau, Nosferatu. You've got Carpenter, John Carpenter, and many others. So those are, I like those homages. That was pretty cool, and I'm like, yeah, I liked it with the homages that are like there. Hey, it's like these names, and you can kind of see the influence of each and every single one of the what's this trademarks that the directors did at least a little bit, especially with Hitchcock and the horror. So I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool. I like what I see here. So let's see. There are features in here: filmmaker commentary by James Wong, Len Morgan, James Koblenz, and Jeffrey Reddick. Actor commentary by Sawa Kerr Smith, Kristen Clark, and Chaddy Donella. 5.1 isolated score and commentary by composer Shirley Walker. Deleted scenes, an alternate ending, 2 original documentaries, test screenings. The filmmakers and studio executives reveal the process of test marketing, the impact this has on the story of Final Destination. Premonitions Meet Cam. Coronado, real-life intuitive investigator who taps her psychic skills to help crime fighters crack unsolved mysteries. Theatrical trailer. Read the screenplay, yeah, all that stuff. They did show in some footage of a 1996 plane crash, which they got permission to use, and yeah, it was god awful. That tragedy that happened, and it's like, well, some may call it tasteless, and I'm like, it's for a horror movie. I was like, yeah, it sucks what happened to them, but you know exactly what you're getting. It's like, What happened with the Hindenburg disaster was like, here's something in a horror movie. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this movie's all it's you go in exactly knowing what you're expecting. It's not high art. It's not great acting. It's you're here for the lead ups to the death. You're here for the creativity. You're here for the very interesting scenes, and you're here to see just like some of the ridiculous, over the top moments, especially with the teacher, and the more what's the word, suspenseful one with the train on the track. So yeah, if you just keep that in mind, sit down, get some popcorn, get some buddies, drink some pop, whatever, and just enjoy Final Destination.